Senator McCarthy, you have the call.
Thank you. Of the 7 city deals that have been announced to date, which were recommendations of the department and which were recommendations of the minister?
Senator Mary Wiley-Smith, Executive Director, Cities Division. So the first couple of city deals, I believe, Senator, were announced as part of an election announcement. So that would have been, I think, the first 3, which was Launceston, Townsville and also Western Sydney. Our division has been working with our colleagues in both state and local governments on providing advice to government on the sequencing of future city deals. The Prime Minister has also written to his colleagues, so other First Ministers, to seek their views on doing city deals for their capitals. That information has also been taken into consideration in looking at the sequencing of the next city deals.
Okay, Ms Wiley-Smith, just to clarify though, you mentioned that it was an election announcement. So were they recommendations of the department or recommendations of the minister?
So they were in an election context, Senator, so the department doesn't have anything to do with those at that point.
Thank you. I just needed that clarified. I note that in response to questions on notice from the last Senate estimates regarding the status of a regional city deals competitive process, that the department advised, and I quote, "The government's first priority is to progress city deals with Hobart, Geelong and Darwin." Can you confirm there is currently no work underway on advancing this regional city deals competitive process?
So, Senator, a range of advice on future city deals has been provided to government, but at the moment, city deals are very resource intensive, and so we can only do around 3 or 4 at any one time.
So advice has been provided?
A range of advice on city deals has been provided to government over the last 18 months.
But no work underway on advancing it?
So, Senator, when I'm talking about a range of advice, I mean a range of advice. We've certainly had representations from lots of regional councils interested in city deals in their regions. You can see that the government is committed to regional deals, as we've got deals up for Townsville, Launceston, and we've also got one in Geelong, which is being negotiated at the moment. We provide a range of advice to government. We've been very open in the criteria that we use to provide that advice, and it's available on our website. We look for willingness and capacity of jurisdictions to collaborate, the opportunity to unlock economic potential and transform the city, and we also provide advice on the alignment with broader national investment and also policy outcomes.
Thank you, Ms Wiley-Smith. You provide a lot of advice by the sound of it. Can you confirm that there are also no plans in the future to advance a competitive process for regional city deals and that no funding has been allocated to this?
So, Senator, advice on city deals has been provided and will continue to be provided to government, but any announcements in this space are a matter for government.
How much new money does the 2018 budget contain for city deals?
Senator, city deals are place-based agreements between 3 levels of government. We don't normally announce large commitments until we've actually gone through the negotiating process with the other 2 levels of government. So when we've gone through that, then we'll actually advise government and go through normal approval processes, as will state governments and also councils, and then any commitments that we have are announced once we sign a city deal.
So how much money then has been allocated to the department for the administration of the City Deals program?
Certainly, I can answer that, Senator. So over the forward estimates, we've got 23.5 million, which has been allocated to support the delivery of the National Cities Agenda.
23.5 million. And how much has been spent on advertising, marketing and consultants for City Deals since the last Senate estimates?
So, Senator, I'd have to take that on notice. I believe in terms of printing of City Deal material and promotional material, I think in the last questions on notice, it was just under 18,000 that had been spent. But since then, I would have to take that on notice. We don't normally do promotional activities or advertising for City Deals. Normally the costs are in the delivery of the city deal document that is signed between three levels of government. We try to have everything available online, but we do have some demand for hard copy brochures, if you like.
Okay, so you say there's 18,000 unspent.
No, that was 18,000 is what had been spent.
Had been spent.
It was just
Okay.
over that. I'd have to check, Senator, but it was a recent question on notice.
All right, and could you also give a breakdown of how that was spent?
Yes, Senator, we can do that.
Okay, thank you. Also, could you provide an update of a list of cities and councils that have expressed an interest in joining the City Deals program?
Yes, Senator, I can provide an update on that. I can go through that now if you'd like.
Thank you.
So this is cities that have indicated interest in a city deal process as of March 2018, and it excludes cities that actually have city deals in place or are in negotiations of a city deal at the moment. So Albury City, and they have expressed an interest jointly with Wodonga, Lake Macquarie City Council, Park Shire Council, Shoalhaven City Council, Wagga Wagga, Wollongong, Sydney, Alice Springs, Cairns Regional Council, Rockhampton City Council, the Upper Spencer Golf Councils, Adelaide, Burnie City Council, and that was also jointly with Davenport Council, City of Ballarat, the Central Highlands Council of Victoria, the City of Greater Bendigo, Greater Shepparton, Latrobe Valley, the City of Wodonga, City of Greater Dandenong, Warrnambool, Melbourne, City of Greater Geraldton, City of Mandurah, Canberra, and Brisbane and South East Queensland councils, which we're currently working with those councils, though, on a strategy for city deals in the SEQ region.
So around 23, is that about 23? I've just tried to get a list of all that. Is that what you have?
Well, my colleague counts that, Senator. I think these are also the ones that we're formally aware of, direct approaches to either the department, or we've seen correspondence to ministers. There may well be other councils or local areas that have expressed an interest directly to the government that we're not aware of, but this is the ones that we're aware of that are formally requesting involvement.
Okay.
Yes. I'm happy to table this if you like, Senator.
I'm sure the committee would like that. Thank you.
That's just the list. There's nothing else in there.
Yep. So, with the Darwin City deal, which was first announced in May last year, how much funding has the Commonwealth allocated to the Darwin City deal?
So, Senator, as I mentioned earlier, we don't expect that the government would confirm its commitments to a city deal until the negotiations were finalised. And so it's at that point that the government would confirm commitments, and some of those may be funding commitments.
Okay.
So we're not quite there yet.
Can you confirm that there is money, or no money, I should say, in the 2018 budget for a Darwin City deal?
It's very unlikely, Senator, that you actually put the amount of money in there, given the answer to the last question, is that this is an agreement between three levels of government. So it'd be very unlikely that we'd be putting a specific measure in the budget when that measure hasn't actually been agreed with.
So, Minister, there will be a commitment for Darwin City deal?
Well, of course there's a commitment. In fact, if you were standing with the remainder of people...
in terms of the actual amount of dollars for Darwin?
Well, that is, as I've just said, Senator, and every reasonable person who bothers to listen to these processes would understand
well, it has
that
been going
an agreement...
on since
Senator,
May
let me finish.
2017, Minister.
Let me finish, Senator, that there is a city deal happening in Darwin, and that deal is between three levels of government. As you would know, it was in March of this year that the first significant round happened. I understand. In fact, I was with Minister Fletcher, the ministers from the Northern Territory government and the Mayor, and they also, I understand, had a number of discussions around the city deal in Darwin. That was just last week. So quite clearly, any reasonable person or observer would say, yes, there's something happening. But quite clearly, all parties, all parties. So the Northern Territory
but no
government...
financial commitment.
No, well, that's right. So we want to know
well, that's
when there is an
want
agreement.
To know what is happening. You've just
excuse me, Minister. Let me finish. And you can have a crack.
Senator.
Well, no, let me finish.
Order, everybody, please. No, well, can we just... can we let the... Order. Can we let the Minister exhaust his answer, and then Senator McCarthy will come to you, and I'll just see that everybody gets a full and equal opportunity to speak. Minister.
Thank you, Mr Chair. The announcements about who will be doing what will be when there is an agreement. An agreement is between three parties. You'll never get one of those parties to decide that they're going to make an announcement until such time as that agreement has been reached, Senator. I just thought I'd point that out, and it's an ongoing process, as it is everywhere. And I notice that you're trying to confirm that no money has been. And these are questions of mischief, Senator, and we all recognise that. But there's a point under which I have to pull you up and just simply say
Minister, that's not helpful.
No, well, it's my observation.
It's not helpful.
Mr.
It's
Chair.
not helpful. So please, do you have further to add to?
No, I'm more than happy to continue listening to the Senator.
Senator McCarthy.
Thank you, Chair. So in terms of the Darwin situation, why is the MOU, which was signed on the 26th of May 2017, not available on the website?
Senator, I'd have to take that on notice and find out for you.
Is it simply an oversight, given that the MOU for every other city deal is publicly available?
It's possible. I'll need to take that on
Possibly
notice.
an oversight.
We'll
So according to our local news in the Northern Territory, the Chief Minister has spoken about the Northern Territory Government, City of Darwin and Charlestown University have detailed plans and financial commitments for the city's deal, and that they are just waiting on the Commonwealth. So what is the timeline for progressing the city deal?
So, Senator, what we want to do with city deals is actually make sure that we take the time with three levels of government, listening to the community to get it right. Sometimes city deals take 6 months. Sometimes, as we can see with the Western Sydney city deal, it can take longer. I think that was 18 months to 2 years. I'm just going to hand over, though, for more detailed response, my colleague, Ms Kate Lynch, who's actually been involved in the Darwin city deal negotiations. And I think I'll also just, in handing over, just also mention that I believe that the Minister for Urban Infrastructure and Cities did mention that he's looking forward to having a Darwin city deal agreed by the end of 2018.
Just before you do that, though, I do want to reiterate that what I have asked in that question is that the Northern Territory Government, City of Darwin and Charlestown University have all detailed plans and financial commitments for the city's deal, and they're waiting on the Commonwealth. So, in reference to what the Minister said earlier, this is the situation up there. So they're actually waiting for the federal government.
Mr Chair, I can perhaps assist with some of that. I also understand that the Miley Point Museum was part of the city deal, and as you would know, Senator, the Northern Territory Government only recently decided that was no longer part of the city deal because they're not actually going to build it. So this is indeed a changing pace. I'm not sure when the most recent utterances of the Chief Minister that you're referring to.
Senator Kate Lynch, General Manager of City Deals and Engagement Branch. I can just confirm Ms Wiley-Smith's remarks about the anticipated timeframe for completion of the Darwin City deal. So through a range of discussions between ministers at the Commonwealth, Northern Territory Government level and with the Darwin City Council, there has been expectation that there'll be very good progress and anticipated completion of the Darwin City deal this calendar year. In relation to the proposal...
Sorry, just give us that timeline again for progressing this city deal.
Yes, there has been expectation indicated publicly that that the three levels of government expect to see good progress made on the Darwin City deal and are hopeful that the city deal will be finalised this calendar year.
So by December 2018?
That's correct, Senator.
Okay, and what steps or any requirements need to be taken and when in that process?
So, Senator, we're currently in the midst of discussions between those parties and with a whole range of stakeholders in the Darwin area, including Charles Darwin University, about a fairly broad range of projects and initiatives that could be included. The nature of exactly what will form part of the Darwin City Deal will be a matter for governments at the end of the day.
So just the mention of Charles Darwin University, is it being considered as part of the North Australian Infrastructure Fund? The relocation of it?
So, Senator, there has been a wide range of discussions with Charles Darwin University, and they have signalled interest in a proposal to bring some of their campus facilities into the centre of the city. There have been discussions to date between Charles Darwin University and the Northern Australia Infrastructure Fund, and also with the Clean Energy Finance Corporation.
Okay, so can you explain why that is the case, given that other city deals have received direct grants rather than concessional loans?
So, Senator, the nature of the commitments that form part of a city deal differ depending on the location. All city deals are bespoke. In this instance, when we're looking at the broad range of projects and initiatives that are on the table and having those discussions between partners to the city deal, we are exploring a wide range of options.
Okay,
a lot of those discussions were also held in other locations.
Maybe let me put it this way. What other city deal has received funding through concessional loans?
So, Senator, if you go back to the information that we provide on the website as to what a city deal is, there are 5 components of a city deal. Only one of those components is really around transformative investment. We're looking for cities that have a shared vision for growth, reform and improvement, a negotiated and customised approach across whole of government, institutional governance and reforms, and innovative financing and value capture, as well as the transformative investment. So that's what really a city deal encapsulates. If a project gets grant funding, it's probably because it's actually needed to get off the ground. If there's a project that looks like it's probably best that we use some type of innovative financing, or that they use a loan facility rather than a grant. Sometimes that's actually the best way to go, because we're also very conscious, and this is at three levels of government in a city deal, that we have to be responsible as to how we actually spend public money.
So did the Townsville deal come under NAIF?
So elements of the Townsville deal, there could be in the future that come under NAIF, yes. Some arrangements with city deals, what you actually see when you first agree a deal is the shared vision and the key commitments that we sign up to. But these commitments, they run for 5 years, 15 years, they could run for 20 years. And during that time, everybody's still working on a city deal, and more things can occur with those 3 levels of government working together for the good of the community in that region.
So who makes the decision that NAIF becomes a funding option for city deals?
So all 3 levels of government have to agree to the key elements of a city deal. So we go through the negotiation process, which Ms Lynch has just referred to, and that's happening at ministerial level, but it's also happening at officials level, which she's been involved with. But then all 3 levels of government go back through their normal approval processes to actually agree what will go into the city deal and what their commitments will be. And commitments could be around the way we coordinate, it could be around reform options, it could be around different land use planning, it could be funding or financing.
Okay.